Okay. Hey
Okay,
there. Hold on, it
more,
says.
one more
One more.
second.
Make sure you guys could see my shirt here today.
Yeah, we are streaming on
Doo-doo.
Facebook, it says.
All right. Wonderful. Hello, class. Welcome to KeyDigital Live. Jonathan Ferry here, National Training Manager of KeyDigital.
Good morning, Mr. Ferry.
Hello, class.
Anyone? Anyone?
Bueller. Classic. Dwayne Rains, the gentleman you see there with the awesome multi-view demo going behind him, National Sales Manager, Southern US, and Scott Craig, Northern US National Sales Manager, are joining us today in the classroom, the virtual classroom, if you will, because we are covering distance with this here KeyDigital Live episode, and we are covering distance education solutions. We've just so happened to be developing technologies that will make your classrooms ready to go, whether it be students in class and or out of class, as we call a hybrid, or what we're seeing right now, and this is constantly changing, students exclusively being out of class. So Scott, Dwayne, you want to tell us about some of the requests you fielded in the recent?
Absolutely, Jonathan. And the beauty is we're not actually developing products for this. We actually already have the products. We're just developing the systems to assist quickly to show how our products that we already have that are fully robust work, because and it, as you said, in the midst of COVID and schools starting up from K through 12, universities, etc., they're all challenged to figure out how the most effective way to educate until we get past this pandemic. And the solutions are all over the place. But the nice thing is, as you mentioned, we can do fully remote, which some are going to. We can do hybrid, half and half, etc. And I know Scott's had some opportunities come up, you know, on both the university level and the K through 12 level, both public and private. Everybody is in the same boat right now, and we're all in this together.
Yeah, a lot of it is people, because it's so wishy-washy right now. What's going on? Who's going where? Giving somebody the option of going to school or doing school remotely, or 2 days here, 1 day remotely. So at least we have all the solutions to either teacher in the classroom, being there, making the presentation remotely. So it's weird. I mean, what we're talking about now might change before the end of the week, you know? So it's like,
exactly. It's almost like COVID itself. It changes.
Yeah. It's the not knowing part and be able to adapt. So, I mean, working with so many dealers, I mean, some of it I feel bad because the decision they make today could be completely different next week. So myself and Dwayne have to be on top of that and be able to adapt on the fly and say, here's your remote solution, you know, but you want to be able to, you know, have an option of being in the classroom too. So it's, I don't know, it has been very difficult for everybody across the board.
But what we are seeing is getting more to where a lot of places are 100% remote, but the teachers are teaching from their own classrooms while their students are at home. And I think that's what where our sweet spot is. And I know we've got some things we're going to show here that address that exactly. My sister-in-law is a music educator out in the West, and you know they're changing on her every day. But basically, she's completely remote, so she's in her classroom, but all her students, and music is really a challenge, and so they need to be able to see the teacher as they would if they were sitting in the classroom. So with that, Jonathan, I'll let you take over with some of our solutions that we put together, and Scott and I'll chime in as we go.
Yeah, please do. I've now sharing my content. Class students, do you see the slides?
Yes, Mr. Ferry.
That's right. Wonderful. I could get used to this. Maybe I should pursue a different industry. So we've actually, we're very proactively pursuing this. And
we have to raise our hand for questions. Sorry.
I need to go to the bathroom, Mr.
Yeah, I need a bathroom pass.
The problem is if I send both of you to sit to the back of the class where you can't distract the other students, then there's nobody in the front because you two are both troublemakers.
Yeah.
So very proactive with creating a solution here out of existing products. That's the beautiful thing. You'll see some of the foundational equipment that we use here, but we'll start with basically what is the behind the scenes technology, and then and also what is in front of scenes, what is there for the teacher, what is the interface that the teacher is using. And so, of course, just like everything else, your approach should always be multi-leveled, a step in and a step up solution. And that's what KeyDigital can offer, because we do have different products at different price points, different ways of crossing that bridge, if you will. And so here is the step in solution. Now, behind the scenes, what's going to be important in these hybrid or distance learning classrooms is a camera, just like we're all using here today. And I, Mr. Ferry, could stand in front of my chalkboard as you see here. And so this is going to capture the teacher as they are, whether writing at the chalkboard, whiteboard, or just displaying their content on the monitor projector at the front of room. This is going to capture it as though the student is sitting in their desk. And we have our KD Cam USB for this. Now, you need to get the content to the whiteboard, of course, and this is nothing new. This is what we've been doing for years and years in classrooms, is using HDMI switchers, sometimes with VGA or DisplayPort or USB-C, all the different connectivity we at KeyDigital specialize in. And in most of the rooms, you'll find just a desktop computer plus the ability to have a laptop plugged in as well. So a 2x1 HDMI switcher is certainly adequate. We do have larger switches if needed. And again, we can also have additional connectivity types. And the Pro 2x1X is our current 2x1 switch that is the most cost-effective of our lineup, that still has things like IP controllability, which will be in front of the curtain, if you will, and we'll get into that in a moment. And that's an HDMI output. So if you're within range of your projector or display smartboard, you can just go HDMI out of the switch into that smartboard, or you could again use a very cost-effective X222PO, which is a 4K support. This whole system, by the way, is 4K supporting here. So you're not, even though this is our step-in solution, if you will, you're not sacrificing, this is a true latest and greatest cutting edge technology type solution. And we could offer that in various ways at KeyDigital. So we were always part of the video aspect. And thankfully, we have partnerships as well that have brought us into the audio side, where we have like a USB mic speaker combo that is just sitting right there at the desk. It could be a cart, by the way, an AV cart, no problem. The table, the desk of the teacher. And here is a product that we've worked with extensively as of late for our medical monitoring system. This is the Clear One Chat 150 USB microphone, just plugs directly into the laptop there, gets its power that way, has 3 microphones inside, so it has tremendous pickup and range. And this offers everything you need in front, behind the scenes there. You've got your content to the whiteboard or smartboard. You've got the audio pickup of the teacher's voice. You've got the camera to provide the large eye of the room, and they could either send their laptop or their desktop there. And it's all controlled over iPad, as I mentioned. And you guys feel free to chime in if you'd like, or I'll just continue rolling through.
Yeah, one of the things I might point out, Jonathan, too, is from the slide, you may think, okay, well, I have to mount the camera to the ceiling. Actually, we've had integrators, their designs where the actual camera is sitting on the front desk top, like the student is sitting right there. That way, when the students are remoted in, it's what they're used to seeing if they were sitting in the classroom. Because all you have to do is, with our USB extender, our USB 2 extender, that's just a cat cable, and that can be easily masked down across the floor, and it gives a great student view of the teacher in her whole teaching environment.
Yeah, very good. Get that that student's perspective. Sure, Scott.
And Jonathan, I mentioned earlier about the cart aspect. Working with like a 12 classroom solution now with the dealer, they want to have one portable cart. So if they need to jump around, the dealer itself is basically hardwiring everything set up so they can just roll a cart in, plug in, and go. So they're looking for a portable other than a permanent installation, but at the same time they said, hey, can we put an extra one on a cart, make it portable, so we can wheel that around in case things, like we said, every day it's changing. So that way they're like, hey, we have the extra cart, we need to do this extra classroom, boom, and jump right into it.
And that's an excellent point, because some of these school districts, maybe they don't have the budget to do every classroom. I know that there are certain school districts that I've dealt with that they're only, the students that want to stay at home, there's one teacher doing that, especially in the elementary range. And so that one classroom, and then they can move that cart around or just set up one classroom. Excellent point there, Scott.
Indeed. Well, and so now we're getting to the Zoom aspect of this, or any software video conferencing, as it says in the design. And truly, in this design, as the connectivity is, your laptop is just hosting whatever it might be. Google, a lot of classrooms are using Google Classroom, and therefore I assume they're using Google Hangouts and whatnot. Zoom, GoToMeeting, it does not matter. The laptop just opens the software. The laptop is the host. Similarly, we could just as well use the desktop computer as the host of the Zoom. And what matters then is that the microphone is plugged into that desktop computer. The camera through the USB extender plugged into the desktop computer. So, there's always many ways to achieve this, as you're going to see here. And but in some cases, that takes us to our next scenario here. Let's say that the teacher is using their laptop to host the conference. We not only, does the teacher need to send the content to the whiteboard, to the smartboard projector display, but they, through this system, this add-on of our BYOD4K, that's right, the product we released just weeks ago now, and gave you the first glimpse on our Coffee with Key show. Our BYOD4K is a wireless presentation gateway, and we could actually, the BYOD has a great feature for extended desktop mode, something I'll show you in more detail shortly. And so the teacher from that same laptop can do like dual monitor, as though they had a monitor connected to their laptop, and they could have, they could do extended monitor. They could drag the Zoom session over to the extended monitor, and then they could do the hardwire output to the projector, smartboard, or display. And this is really brilliant.
Jonathan, if I might chime in there, this is my favorite design right here, because by adding this extended monitor, imagine, if you will, you put an 80-inch display at the back of the classroom. So not only do the students get the student perspective when there's looking through the camera, the teacher gets the classroom perspective from a teacher, because she's looking at all her students all in one place on a large screen at the back of the room, simply by extending wirelessly through our BYOD.
Wow. That could be very, very comfortable for everybody, and little things like that go a long way when there is so much change and new things to get used to. Just the very fact that they could, stand towards the smartboard and then turn to look at the class and to hear questions and whatnot. That's a great point, Dwayne. And from there, we do have additional options in our presentation solution lineup that already had the USB layer to the connectivity. And so this is really emphasizing and reiterating Dwayne's point from previous of the that these are not new products to us. These are technologies. These are connectivity layers that we've already developed, and you know, with a focus probably, honestly, more primarily at that time on conferencing applications, traditional conferencing, corporate conferencing, and, you know, your traditional business and related calls. And so here we have our UPS52U. What this does for us is it gives us a variety of additional input connections. It also gives us native HD-based input, so we could have really clean in the third-party enclosure. We could have our wall plate mounted that has the HDMI connection or USB-C or DisplayPort plus the USB connection. And so it's just right there on the table, just the wall plate and the laptop plug in, the speaker, USB speaker mic. And we're doing the same thing here with the dual monitor as well. And so instead of having the external USB extender, again, USB plugged in on the wall plate, travels through the presentation switch and is then output at the receive balun, which is there typically mounted at the projector or smartboard, and just hop right over into the camera that way. So this is just basically what this is doing is essentially doing the same, if not more, by having more, you know, this is more accommodating to the room being used by a variety of professors or teachers, right? Because they may come in with HDMI, they may come in with USB-C DisplayPort. We don't know. Our connectivity can accommodate that regardless. And it's doing more with less boxes. And so again, we have these options here already. So,
hey, Jonathan, one thing I thought of too.
Yeah,
to go back to what Dwayne was saying, to do the extended monitor and have that, I mean, teachers now are used to, I mean, it's going to be a completely different way to be able to adapt to the remote. And I was kind of laughing to myself, you know, sporting events are using cardboard cutouts. So I don't think they're going to put cardboard cutouts for the students. So this will be great because she'll be able to see her audience, even if they put it as a display on a cart or move or whatever in the audience. So when they're in that mode that have been teaching for years, they're doing something on the board or talking, now it'll feel like the people are there, you know?
Very true.
Exactly.
Very true.
And they could even, if it's a large enough display, they get to see the kids raise their hands potentially.
Exactly.
Depending on how large the student body is per class.
Yep, totally agree.
Good points, guys. So yeah, so this is the foundation of a lot of this. It comes from our presentation solution systems with USB. And not only the hardware and that USB layer, but the very idea of making a system that supports any video conferencing software they'd like to use, a system that's easily controllable by the iPad, not only controlling, you know, what's on the smartboard projector, but also even zooming in on the camera or calling presets, etc., right from the iPad with no programming necessary. A closer look at some of the potential SKUs that will be used for that. I showed the wall plate earlier, but keep in mind, we do have our PS22 UTX, which is a black box transmitter, can be easily located underneath that table or in that equipment rack, cart rather. And has two HDMI inputs, once again, for the desktop and the laptop to be accommodated. Couple that with our localized presentation solution of our systems without USB, but they could very easily be added, that USB layer, easily and cost effectively by adding the XUSB2 extender into that. So here's some of these different form factors that we have for you for your options. Here is the cam USB. I had to add this note right here, trending now, because boy, is it ever.
Very much so.
Scott,
Yeah.
Scott, you just recently had a very large sale that was educational, right?
Yeah, I mean, they keep on going now, and I get more and more requests. I mean, it's like for some students, I feel bad because they can't find a Chromebook. So now it's really become, hey, how are these schools finding cams? So it's supply and demand. It's we're fortunate enough to have inventory of them. So we have a lot of people hitting us up over and over again, and it's, you know.
And the nice thing is, it could be as simple as just putting a CAM USB into a teacher's laptop.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think that cell you're referring to, Scott, that Scott did was like 100 classrooms, you know. So it is a trending item, but it's so easy to use. And then you can also control it just with the remote control if you want to get that really simple. And it's a quick, easy way. As you see, I believe we're all three on CAM USB right now.
I am.
I'm the only one that's not at the moment.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, you still look very handsome, sir.
I try. Not as good looking as you, Jonathan.
Well, all it takes is a shirt like this, buddy.
Yeah.
That's am I coming through a little louder now with this shirt?
Like your Freddie Mercury microphone too there. So.
And the XUSB 2, newer product. It came after the addition of the presentation solutions that had that USB layer and the camera, and then churches and classrooms saying, hey, we're not doing that whole additional video switching part of this, yet we still need to extend the camera. And how do we do that? I see there's a box that costs $20 on Amazon. There's a box that costs $300 on Amazon. Which one works? And we developed one that is sure to work, because it was hard to say which of those would work. Even after testing them, we found a variety of reliability, variety of performance, variety of price points, as I previously alluded to. So XUSB 2 is a set. And what's nice about this is it does actually have 2 USB device ports at the receive side. So this could accommodate more than one camera if needed. If you have a large lecture hall and you want different perspectives, you could do a variety of things with those with that additional USB port there. And
you can still, even if you're using additional port, you can still get full 1080p out of our camera as well.
Oh yeah.
And that solution will go up to 50 meters, 164 feet. And I can tell you, in my life before as an integrator, I had to purchase similar items, and ours MSRP is under $200 on our piece, and I paid well over that as a dealer for a piece. It did work, but it was a lot more.
Oh man, that's adding insult to injury there. Well, and you could even connect a USB hub as well to have up to 15 devices. So again, just moving quickly through, because we gave that big picture earlier. What is another key component of this? Our BYOD4K, bring your own device. We're not using it in the traditional sense of wireless presentation, so to speak, in this case, but that's exactly what this is. You could see a recent video, the intro video on Coffee with Key, available on our YouTube channel if you'd like to view that. To find out more about it, see live demos, etc. But we're actually using it for this, the dual monitor, the extended monitor type setup, where very easily in the KeyDigital Play software, which can auto launch, plugging in our USB flash, and or you could have it on the staff laptops as well. Just going into the settings here, hitting that gear icon bottom right, checkbox for that extended monitor. And now you have the ability to have the wired connection into the switcher and the wireless connection to the BYOD4K over your local area network into the to that extended monitor. And so here we are, and that would be essentially, again, a lot of this came from our corporate background, but that essentially could be the content that the teachers teaching with, or the Zoom call. Could go either way. We're showing it either way here, and you even see that USB layer with the camera as well. Another way the BYOD4K can be very useful is that this device does support annotation and whiteboard. You could even capture content. So this just works naturally in the educational environment. We have a variety of USB connectivity options there. 2.0, 3.0 USB-C to accommodate whatever type of USB connection is needed on that display. And of course, if you're more than 20 feet away, 5 meter, or what is the distance is 5 meters so that's 16 feet, I guess, 16.4
roughly,
feet.
Right.
Yeah. So then you could extend it with the XUSB 2. And one more thing I thought would be really, really important and important point to point out here is that when you have our presentation solution products, they support CEC control. And we have universities using these in their lecture halls. And so you could do social distancing in a lecture hall. We know a lot of universities are coming back to school.
Yeah.
And in a lecture hall, space your seating. And we're doing just like this at a notable university in New York City. And all the professor has to do is press that blue button, display on, and it turns on their projector via CEC. And through our system here with our AMP 220 acting as a preamp, you have all the control you need, even that volume you see right there in green, volume up, volume down, to reinforce their speech and the audio of coming from the laptop, desktop, or whatever your connected HDMI or digital video sources may be. So some of the system like this may mayhaps not such an emphasis on the distance learning aspect of it, but you could still there's social distancing ways that, again, there's this is not a two-sided coin. This is a 12-sided die.
This Rubik's Cube is what this is.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. So again, what does the teacher's interface look like? Because this needs to be easy. You've got your source selection on the left side of that iPad. You have your volume if needed, if that is an option. You have your display on and off. We're looking at that in the bottom right, or even volume up and down. And then your camera control. You need to do zoom in and out. You need to call a preset. You need to move left and right. Yes, Dwayne.
So Jonathan, how long does it take to program that screen we're seeing right there?
Man, I omitted those slides here today, but guys, this is all done using our free app, free 99, as me and the boys like to say. The programming, no programming at all. It's
amazing.
Check boxes and drop down menus. How many check boxes are we talking here? 2 check boxes and 1 drop down menu. That's it. And it builds this GUI for you that's extremely user friendly. You could even enter friendly names. And we're constantly developing this even. I just had a webinar today with our partner in Russia, and we're doing 2 things here. Number 1, in the bottom right, you see 2 displays. What if you only have 1 display? So you can actually hit a checkbox that says output 2 is not being used, or output 1. And now that goes away. We talked about swapping some of the lettering around so that something is a little more prioritized. Instead of saying HDMI 1 in larger font, let's put that user-friendly, desktop, laptop. That's it, and the connection type in the smaller font. So software is a living organism, and this is exemplifying this, but we're trying to do it in a way that I'd say is friendly to our integrators, friendly to our users, but always, always, always improving because, in COVID times, you need to get in and out of these installs as quickly as possible as well.
Absolutely.
And then here's the remote that comes with our presentation switcher. Ergonomic grip, just like the one that comes with our camera. But this one, if you do have our presentation switcher, you could choose the source. You could turn your monitor projector on and off, controlling the volume of our amp or of the projector, and controlling the camera as well. So all in one, that remote can control the entire system. So this was all thought of beforehand, these individual components coming together to make one cohesive solution. So that's our look behind the curtain, in front of the curtain. Dwayne, Scott, I'll stop the screen share here.
I just wanted to throw out there to you, that everybody needs to keep an eye out that Jonathan has, his biography coming out, his album cover coming out. It's all going to be the same name. It'll be check boxes and drop down menus. So,
But he does it in rhyme. So, kind of Dr. Seuss way.
Oh, guys. I'm sorry to, you call that beating a dead horse, right?
No. That's safe.
But everybody, in all seriousness, these solutions make life so much easier for our educators and our students. And so if you watch this and you say, hey, I've got some ideas, I mean, these are concepts we've already drawn up, but obviously they can be modified, built up on, scaled back, any way you want to fit the solution, the proper solution for your client. So give us a call, reach out to sales@KeyDigital.com and let us know how we can help you, because this is trending and sometimes not in a good way, but we've got solutions to make it a lot better.
We have a plethora, is the word of the day today, of solutions to be able to adapt. So like you were saying, either permanently mounting a camera. I had one weird one come back from a dealer. He's like, well, they're worried about students being in the room, having the camera, and then cleaning these rooms between, and they're like, well, they're gonna have to clean the camera. They're like, hey, what do I have to do with that? And I'm like, hey, you know what? You just don't want to hose it down with a Lysol, protect the lens and everything else. So it's like silly things like that I didn't even think of. He goes, could you imagine that somebody does an amazing install and there's a crew of people that come in at night and they don't realize that's there, and it's a full-blown hose down. It's like, so silly things like that every day. It's like, my guy's like, oh my God, if I put this in there, the maintenance crew comes in, cleans, sprays it down, what am I going to do? So it's like, hey, cover some of this stuff up. But yeah, again, the word of the day is plethora, and having all the products
and
to
if
be able
John
to adapt to another solution.
with plethora, I would be very impressed.
That would be a good rhyme.
Plethora. Oh man, I can only think of Mothra from Godzilla. Does that count, guys?
Okay. And there we go.
All right, guys. Thanks very much for joining us today. Scott Craig, National Sales Manager in Northern U.S. Where can we find you online, good sir?
Well, basically, if you go to contacts, all of our email information, everything else is there, but it's just Scott, CRAIG, @KeyDigital.com.
Wonderful.
And I am Dwayne, not to be confused, but DEWAYNE @KeyDigital.com. But the easier thing is sales@KeyDigital.com. It goes to all of us, and then we'll take care of you.
Awesome. Well, thanks very much. We hope anybody viewing this has any questions. You know now where to reach out to the team. Thanks for joining us on KeyDigital Live. We'll see you next month.